Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then hello, my name is Amy and welcome. So for today's video we are going to be talking about something that I feel like it's not spoken about enough, and a lot of girls my age will be thinking, well, should be getting like letters regarding these tests and should be going and getting them done, but a lot of people aren't because they're embarrassed. And so if you can't already tell by the title, I mean you obviously already know, we're going to be talking about smear tests, which are also known as cervical screening tests. So yeah, basically I just want to talk about it, talk about my experience, and so that's what we're going to be doing. So grab a cup of tea. I've actually got one, even though it's like 32 degrees and I am melting. But yeah, we're just going to sit down, have a little chat, and just get into all the little details. There's nothing scary about a smear test or cervical screening, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, it's a normal thing. You need to go and get it done. I can't stress enough. But yeah, let's just get into it. Smear test is something that you get offered at the age of 25 to go and get this done. You then have to have it every 3 years if you are tested as normal, and I think it's like every 2 years if you're tested as abnormal, and then so on. And it's basically just a test. It doesn't test for cervical cancer, it tests for abnormal cells, which then can later in life, if not treated, turn into a cancerous cell. So the test is literally, it takes like no time whatsoever. You normally get your letter like 6 months before your 25th birthday, because I'm 24 and I got my letter a couple of months back, and I obviously had my test. And I've actually had the results back now as well, so I'll get into that like a bit later on. But I just wanted to let you guys know my full experience, because obviously it's quite an intimate thing. Like someone's looking down there, and it's not someone that you know, not someone that you probably want looking down there, but they're going to anyway. Yeah, so when I had to book for my screening, I actually had pushed to have my my cervical, I'm just going to call it smear test. I'd actually pushed to have my smear test sooner than you're like meant to have it, because in the past I have had a lot of different complications with bleeding and pain and a lot of abnormal signs like in my wombs, on my like ovaries and all that. So in the past I have had like so many tests. I think I've had like every single test you could possibly have done. So I've had new, like literally I've had so many people look down there, it's ridiculous. I've had like nurses examine me, doctors examine me. I'd almost like had a smear before it was my smear, because I went and like spoke about some problems that I'd had, and I had the lady was like, okay, I'll have a look, hop on the bed, and I was literally like, oh god, I wasn't expecting this right now. And you know, took my knickers off, whatever. I laid on the bed, and she like, and I'm gonna go into detail, like this might be too much information, but honestly it just shows that there's nothing to worry about. So I literally laid on this bed. You've got these two like little stilt things for your legs. I put my legs on them. Some lady, she got like, they're like a plastic, I think you can get metal ones as well, and they like insert it like up into your vagina, and then they like twist it and it opens it, and it basically is just so they can like see into it. And then she's like gone and got a little torch, she's looking up there, she's like, yeah, it all seems okay. And I'm like, oh my god, this woman has got, oh my god, that is the biggest moth ever. I don't know what I was saying. So yeah, I had that was like my first ever examination experience, and then I had a few more tests, a few more of those examinations. So I was kind of like used to, not used to people, like strangers, having to look down there, but it wasn't something that fazed me anymore. And that might seem weird for a lot of people, but it's so normal. These nurses and doctors are seeing vaginas. I hate saying that word, but that's what it's called. They're used to seeing these like daily, like probably a new one every half an hour, and it's just something, it's just normal, and it's just something that has to be done. I also got referred to the hospital where I had to have like an internal examination, which is where they like put this camera, yeah, they put like it's like a probe thing, and it's got like a camera on the end, and they put it up and they check all your ovaries and stuff. That was an experience, but again, totally fine. Like, it was just one lady. I think you can say, if you want to have, oh my god, the moth's on the move again, you can say if you want to have like a chaperone, which is basically like someone else, another stranger, or you can take someone with you, but it depends if you really want them there, can go in the room with you and like make sure nothing inappropriate happens. Not that it does, but sometimes the doctors do like to just cover their, oh, let's just keep the tripod, do just like to like cover their backs just for obvious reasons. So I had all those examinations done, and everything had come back fine so far. So I was having like irregular bleeding, pain during sex, quite a lot of like odd symptoms, and they just basically ruled it out as nothing. So then, me being me, I'm thinking, well, the only thing I haven't had now is a smear test. So I had pushed and pushed and pushed for a smear test, and then about 2 months ago, a couple months before my 25th birthday, I got my letter and I got booked in for my smear test, and as I imagined, I went for my smear. It was a lovely, lovely nurse. They honestly make you feel like so comfortable, and she just was so casual and calm about the whole thing. She just said, right, go, like, obviously behind there, take your, like, get undressed, lay down and let me know when you're ready. So obviously just strip down and take like your, I find it easier if you don't want to like take if you don't want to like take your trousers off and be like butt naked like I actually was, you can, like, it's easier to wear a dress, like just wear a dress, then you don't have to like take anything off. You can just like obviously take your knickers off, but just you've got a dress on to, like, I don't know, just makes you feel less uncomfortable, I think. So I would recommend wearing a dress, and then you can just like slide it up, can't you? And then you just let them know when you're ready for them to come round, and she'll just come round. She's really calm. She just tells you like what is going to happen, and they basically use these probes like before. It's like a metal one or a plastic one, and they've got loads and loads of different sizes. So if you're tight or if you're like larger, then it really doesn't matter because they've got every single size. They don't make you feel like ashamed or uncomfortable for whatever one you've got to go for. I don't even think they like voice it, to be honest. They'll just do their thing, put it up, take the little swab, which they say feels like a little brushing. To be fair, I couldn't really feel it at all. Like, I felt like something was touching, but you can't, it wasn't painful, it didn't scratch like everyone says, like, oh, they shove this thing up you and it, they open it up so wide and it stretches it and it hurts so much. No, of course it's uncomfortable. Yes, it is uncomfortable because obviously you've got this foreign object inside you, but it's uncomfortable, yeah, but it's over within like 5 minutes, not even that. The little like swab thing, it literally, it doesn't even scratch. Everyone says, oh, they scrape it. They don't scrape it, they literally brush it against the inside of your like cervix or whatever it is, and collect some cells, and that's it. It doesn't hurt, it's uncomfortable, that's about it. And then, yeah, so, and then she'll walk away, let you get dressed. I think they offer out like a sanitary towel, just in case. It's very, very like, it's It's very, very rare, I think they said, but you can get some bleeding after, just from where it's been like a little bit disturbed. So they'll offer you a sanitary towel. You obviously can take it or you don't have to take it, and yeah, then they'll sit you down and let you know the waiting time. I think there's quite a big waiting time for results at the moment, something like, I think it's meant to be like 4 weeks, but at the moment it's like 8 to 12 weeks, which is like quite bad considering it's like results for something so serious. But then at the same time, it just shows you how like understaffed and like the NHS is. We need more nurses. But yeah, so that's the whole thing over and done with, and then off you go. You wait for your results, and then you'll get a little letter in the post like I did recently. And honestly, I'm so glad that my results came back perfectly normal. So I'm not sure what all my complications have been in the past, because the only thing that I could rule it out was down to like this, but it was absolutely fine. So I'm very, very lucky that my results did come back fine, and I now don't have to go for another test for 3 years. However, I do know people who have come back as abnormal, which means they now have to go for another like screening and test. I think this one is at the hospital, not their local GP, and that basically just means that they have a further examination, and where there are abnormal cells, they burn them off. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but I don't think it's too painful, and it basically just means that they stop those cells developing into anything else. But that is very, very common as well for people to like get the abnormal result. I know, like, I've got a group chat of 10 girls, and in that chat there was like 5 girls who either had all abnormal cells, their family relatives had abnormal cells, they knew a friend who had abnormal cells. That is really, really common. So if you do get that result, do not panic. Just follow all the correct procedures and get everything dealt with, and fingers crossed that everything is going to be absolutely fine. But I just wanted to make this video, just sit down and be really real with you, just really try and put your mind at rest, because a cervical screening is done for a reason, and I think the age should be brought lower, to be honest. I don't think it should be at 25. I think it should be at like 18 or even lower. Maybe there shouldn't even be an age limit. If you think you should go and have a screening done, then I think you should be able to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why, considering like the whole Jade Goody situation, I don't think that it should be such a high age, but it is what it is. But I just think if you are my age and you've had your letter and you haven't booked it yet, then please, 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 please go and book it, because it's nothing bad at all. Like, from me to you, honestly, it is nothing bad. I would go and have another one tomorrow just to try and put everyone else's minds at ease. Honestly, there is no... It's not even... Oh my god, is that bigger? Oh my god. That was intense for anyone who just witnessed that. I've got a really big phobia of moths, and that just landed on my head because I stupidly have all the windows open and it's very hot and I've got 3 lights on. The cervical screening is honestly nothing to worry about, and I really urge anyone who's my age and hasn't had it but has had their letter to please book it and go for it. Honestly, when you walk out of there, you'll be like, why did I stress about that so much? I really didn't need to. And if there is anyone who's older than me, maybe in your 30s, 40s, and you've never had it and you're watching this, then just know that I've gone and had it done, and honestly there's nothing to worry about. Wanted to make this little video and just really bring a bit more awareness around the situation and the stigma that is around a cervical screening. Honestly, isn't as bad as you're thinking, and you're going to make it worse and worse in your head. I promise you, there is nothing to worry about. The nurses know what they're doing. They're professional, they're calm, and they know that you're stressing out about having it done because it's a very uncomfortable and abnormal situation to go and put yourself in. but honestly there is nothing to worry about. And if by making this video I can just get at least one of you to go and book your screening, then I honestly, that's why I've done it, because I want to just spread awareness and just get people to go and book their screenings, because honestly there's nothing to worry about. I don't know how many times I need to repeat that, but I promise you, you'll walk out of there thinking, why was I stressing? Because honestly, just get it done, get it out of the way. That's it done for 3 years, and then you can stress about something else, like what colour to paint your nails. But yeah, I hope you guys found this informative and helpful and reassuring if you are going for your screening. I hope that you guys appreciated me sharing my stories with you, and yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye. What the hell, that just...
I think there's 2 in here.
That's a big... That just was on my head.
This is what I have to deal with, right, on a day-to-day basis.